All right, pop-up podcast.
On location.
95 degrees. It's hot as out here.
That's why we got our sunglasses on, except for Ben.
Yeah.
Mine are in the car.
All right, so is this an undisclosed location? Can we disclose the location?
We can, let's disclose the location.
The general location?
Yeah,
All right.
we're active on members only.
Yeah, coming soon.
Okay, so Jason, why don't you tell us what type of street area we're located on? Give the people a little bit of a description. Why don't we jump right in?
All right. Well, a little bit specifics about the neighborhood. We're in the Shannon Valley Ranch neighborhood of Los Gatos.
Okay.
Okay. The entire it's a new development built in 2006 with 80 acres and 13 residents, so more of a new build.
Okay.
But still 20 years old.
But the cool thing about this enclave, is what we like to call it,
An enclave?
is that it's 80 acres and almost every single home here is on flat ground.
Very nice.
So a little bit specifics about the house. So one story, about 4,700 square feet on 2.5 acres, just under 2.5 acres,
Which is nice.
which is really nice. So
See a swimming pool.
We have a
outdoor
swimming pool,
kitchen.
Loggia.
loggia,
Loggia.
sports court,
Uh-huh.
Batting cage.
gazebo over here with the main attraction is the pizza oven
Nice.
that is right in the wall over there. So seller raves about it, said he's made many pizzas and it just is top of the line.
And speaking of the sports court, I mean, there's a little bit of a theme to some of the home or the homeowners in this enclave. There might be some famous professional athletes that also live here. So certainly, I mean, great neighborhood, some really great neighbors, and it's coming on the market soon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's located in a small HOA, 180 a month,
Oh, that's not bad.
but it already has permits and approved plans if someone wanted to throw an ADU back here or additional game room or something. So very flexible. It's an amazing spot. It's quiet.
Yeah, I saw some deer and some wild turkey when we were walking up.
You have views of the valley, views of the hills.
Very
Hopefully we
nice.
get a little more grass on
And
these areas.
how far from downtown Los Gatos?
9
minutes.
So it's in Los Gatos Schools.
Los Gatos
and
Schools
9 minutes
from
to downtown.
Correct.
Which is where we're having our last Music in the Park this Sunday.
As cool as it is, very, very happy this one's getting wrapped up.
Yeah.
I would love a Sunday to hang out and just
Well, now we're rolling right into football season.
yeah, which is even more of an importance and why this needs to end. Because at 5 o'clock, I'm going to be watching Barry Underwood singing Sunday night.
Ben's been 7 days a week for the last 5 weeks, and he's excited to
It's
end
been
it.
fun though. It's been good. I think the one cool thing about the Music in the Park is that they bring in, especially this year, they brought in local artists. So instead of having cover bands and stuff, it was all people who have either grown up around here or currently live out here. Last week, the former football coach at Los Gatos, ex-teacher, sang. An absolute massive following.
Interesting.
Tons of people
All
out
right.
there.
Well, I'm not sure when this gets put out, but join us for the last Sunday Music in the Park.
Yes.
And we hope to see you there. I know Jason's got some stats for us.
Yeah, local stats for our county. Let me pull them up real quick. So single families, we're sitting active on the market, 978.
Okay, so we're up a little bit from last week. We're at 962.
Yeah, so stuff's moving, but we're coming out of the summer, and hopefully we'll see some more coming on, just like this one. We'll be on the market next week.
Do you think that the inventory right now being at 978, I've heard just doing open houses and stuff, and maybe you guys have it too, but buyers are waiting or want to wait until September to see where interest rates go before jumping in? Have you guys started hearing that, or?
There's definitely interest rate conversation, but like I've told a lot of folks, I think, they say over 90% of economists anticipate the Fed's going to do a rate cut. And because of that, the market's already baked it in. And what I mean by that is they're already anticipating that 1/4 point or maybe even a 1/2 point reduction in the Fed fund rate. So I'll put money on it right now that when the Fed cuts rates September 17th, mortgage interest rates will not drop. They're already at a 10-month low at 6.5 right now. I think it's already baked into the rate, and I don't think we're going to see much movement on mortgage interest rates at all.
What I'm seeing, which is fascinating recently, is that a lot of traffic at properties during their first weekend of open houses. People are setting deadlines, but no offers are coming in. Then they go through another weekend, and then same amount of traffic comes by, and then that's when they start taking offers as they come, all of a sudden they have multiple offers. It's once they have the first one in, it seems like there's 2 or 3 that just follow. So I feel like people are waiting to see which properties sit and which properties get jumped on, and anything which is dialed in a good location is still getting multiple offers. But then those outliers, which have something or the other that's not going for it, people are being pickier with those and maybe trying to time their entry points, or
Sure.
just trying to get a good deal on those kind of properties. I just got a client into contract where first weekend they had no offers. Second weekend they got a ton of people at the open house. We went there again. We saw tons of people looking at it. They set a second deadline, and at the second deadline they had 3 offers.
So then, are you advising your buyers? So based on that, are you advising your buyers, hey, if you see something you like, let's submit an offer right away because we might be the only one? Or are you telling them, hey, take your time, let's wait, let's give it a week or 2, and if it's still on the market, then we'll make an offer?
I'm assessing the situation in a case-by-case basis, right? So anything which is dialed in, which might be a really good deal, if you have a number in mind, let's just throw it in there that you're happy with, that you're not going to regret being the only offer on. But at the same time, if there's a property that's been on the market for a while, let's try and target that at a low enough price point where all the things you want to do to it to make it from an 8 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10 is all baked into the price. That's how we can structure deals. So that having that conversation and really educating the buyer through the process of what makes a good deal is more important now, I think, than ever before.
Good stuff. All right.
And kind of with that being said, are you seeing sellers like kind of giving into like credits or
Concessions.
anything like that, or are they being picky with their price?
Yeah, I'm seeing more and more sellers actually come after my commission because now their nets are getting
Lower. Yeah.
So then they are, instead of countering buyers on price, they're like, okay, let's cut the middleman out there, and oftentimes we are able to structure deals in a way where it's a win-win situation for everyone. But at the end of the day, we try to negotiate just on price. But sellers are getting desperate because they some people have life situations or life moves and they just have to sell, and after a certain number of days on market, they're gonna take what the market brings them if they are in dire need of selling. But a lot of sellers that are moving up that don't need to sell their previous homes, they may actually just keep it as a rental. Like there was a property that we were trying to negotiate on for a couple of days back and forth, and there was about a $40,000 difference at a $1.3 million price point. The seller's like, yeah, if I don't get at least X, I'm going to rent it out. And, it's because they were losing money on it, and they were like, this is the absolute most I want to lose on this property, So,
Yeah.
they're I think case-by-case situations, but lots of deals out there right now for buyers.
Yeah, I will say, though, for sellers, be careful of the logic of, well, I'm just going to rent it out for a year and see what happens, right? Because, okay, maybe you get 3% appreciation, but now you have a stranger living in your house for a year. And what happens if that tenant decides not to leave, right? Or stops paying rent, or, whatever. They pour grease down the kitchen sink.
I mean, we saw a situation with one of your clients, I think it was last year, where the tenant left and there was holes in the wall and the ceiling.
I remember.
So sometimes, you get in situations where they don't even account for, and again, if you work with the right property management company, we can vet these things, but if you don't know how to vet the tenants you have in place, you can end up with more work that is added up than you're actually getting on the property in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, so, the situation that I was mentioning, the $40,000 delta, we met them in the middle, and we explained to them, like, okay, what's the actual net loss of you trying to rent this place out? Like 4 months of rents, and you will actually recover whatever you're going to make on it, or take the proceeds from this property, put it in a savings account, or have that, better employed somewhere else, and you'll make more on that money than actually renting this place out for 6 months and trying to go back on the market. And what if the market's not as good at that time, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I wanted to cover a little bit of national news right now that's happening in the month of August. A spike in foreclosures. So this is kind of interesting. We're starting to see, and it's happening at the places where it happened, first, where it happened before in 2007, 2008 as well. So right now, Nevada, Florida, and there's one other city I forget state I forget off the top of my head, but foreclosures have spiked the most in those areas, and that's typically what we see. We see a lot of speculators and investors going out to, or that went out to Nevada and Florida. Now prices are down, so they're getting out of the market. And then also, too, I mean, Vegas drives a lot of the economy in the surrounding area. And you'll read all these articles now that Vegas is drying up, right? That people aren't going as often. They're not tipping as much. And so for a lot of those people that rely on tips to cover their mortgage and their lifestyle, they're just not able to make ends meet. So kind of interesting, because there might be some opportunities down the road in those markets. But more importantly, we tend to, they say you read the tea leaves, and we tend to... dog drinking water in our podcast.
That's all right, buddy.
That's all right.
She's a good girl. She's a
It's
good
hot
girl.
out. But the point is, it'll be interesting to see how foreclosures continue to climb in those markets. It's kind of as a bellwether to see what's going to happen with the rest of the United States. That said, there's also opportunities out there. So 3 of the hottest growing markets right now are actually Detroit, Cleveland, and Oklahoma City. And it's for a couple of reasons. One, prices are low. Right? Rents, Ohio. Prices are low. Rents are pretty good. And there's a lot of potential growth in some of those markets as well. So for investors looking to, acquire property, it's maybe a little more affordable than it is here in California. I'd definitely look at maybe one of those 3 locations as well.
And I think when you bring that up, there's 2 types of investors. Ones who go out there looking for the appreciation, and then others kind of like Jason's route where we're just going after mailbox money. Mm-hmm. And I think in some of these areas where there is a lot of opportunities, might not expect the same amount of growth in certain areas, but if you have the money to put in and be cash flow positive, which could very well happen. I mean, you can share your story again, interest only, in an area where it's cheap enough where your down payment covers most of the, takes away most of the mortgage. Mm-hmm. But if you're cash flow in those areas and you look at it like an investment to make mailbox money per month, tons of opportunity.
Yeah, anytime you can get into an asset and it's cash flowing out of the gate,
Mm-hmm.
you have that plus depreciation. It's great.
Yeah.
Great way to go. Speaking of home builders, what's happening nationwide, do you guys know what land options are?
The option to purchase land at a future date.
Absolutely.
Kind of like a
correct.
lease option?
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. So right now, what a lot of the large home builders are doing, instead of going out and buying land and, have those large carrying costs and things like that, without knowing exactly what the immediate future is going to hold, they're basically land banking by doing land options. So they're putting an option, somebody has, 100 acres, 500 acres that they're selling. Lennar will go in and say, hey, you know what, we'll land option this, which means we want first right of refusal. If anybody else comes and wants, to make an offer, we get first option on it. But at least that allows them to lock up the land, and then but delay kind of the carrying costs and holding costs of that. So right now, 74% of all of the contracts that the home builders nationwide have are in land options.
Is there a liability cost with that?
Well, there's no liability because it's an option. You don't have to, right? So it's like saying, hey, I want to buy your house. I'll put an option on it. You keep marketing it. You try to sell it. If you do get an offer, I still get first right of refusal on the house. So pretty smart. And speaking, go ahead.
What's the benefit of that owner trying to sell that piece of land to a builder with like a land option like that?
Well, the benefit is they get to continue to market the property for sale.
Okay.
Right? Because, they want to sell it. So it's basically, kind of like when we put a house on the market and we do active contingent, but, it's kind of like active option, right? Somebody wants to buy this place, but they're holding out to see if, somebody else comes along. And so if I own the land, I'll take your option because it's like in the back of my pocket. I have that no matter what at a future date, and I get to continue to market my land for sale. Speaking of smart people, Warren Buffett, you guys ever heard of him? You're young, so I don't know.
The GOAT.
Yeah.
Of course.
All right. So
The diet you should never replicate.
hey, that doesn't matter, man.
Him and Trump have the same diet.
But he's much smarter. They call him the Oracle of Omaha, but anyway, he just invested. He just invested $800 million because he had a lot of money sitting on the side right now, right? He took $800 million. Yeah, just took $800 million off the table and invested it in home builders. So I believe he put $800 million in Lennar, and then he increased his holdings in another large nationwide home builder. So if Warren Buffett, who took most of his, a lot of that cash out, put on the sidelines, took almost $1 billion and invested it in housing, I think that is a pretty good outlook of what we can expect over the next, 2, 4, 6 years. We'll see.
Signaling something.
Yeah, I think my prediction for the rest of this year is things are going to be flat, right? I almost hope the Fed doesn't cut rates in September, and then that way in 2026 he goes off, right? They're expecting quite a few interest rate cuts between now and the end of the year, but I don't know. I know he's feeling a lot of pressure from the current administration, but I don't know. I think he keeps it pretty modest because inflation's still up.
Yeah, so I was actually looking at that, and inflation was trending downwards before the tariffs got announced. So we would be actually at negative inflation if, accounting for tariffs not being there. But
Right.
because the tariffs came into effect this year, it started trickling back up. So now inflation is back on the
Back up
rise.
over 3%.
Yeah, back up over 3%. Otherwise, we were going negative 2%. Month over month earlier this year, which is why the market was doing so great. But at the same time, Warren Buffett took
Buffet.
Warren Buffet.
A little different.
he took a lot of his holdings and liquidated it. Went towards cash, and then the market tanked right after, about a few months after, and now inflation numbers are back on the rise. There's about 3 rate cuts that are being predicted towards the end of the year, but there's an 85% chance that we might have one in September.
Yeah, we'll see. I think 2026, actually, second half of 2026, when the lower interest rates have trickled down to the average consumer, I think we will see a little boost in the economy. Obviously, when the interest rates drop, stock market goes higher, home values go higher, and that's what we try to tell buyers all the time too: is don't try to time the market. We're closing a deal in a week and a half where the buyers pushed kind of past their original budget, but they know in 6 months, 9 months, they'll be able to refinance, and their payment 6 or 9 months from now will be the same amount that it would have been today on that lower price home. But instead they pushed because they know that appreciation is going to come into effect as well, and appreciation on 4% appreciation on $2 million is better than 4% appreciation on 1.6. So I'm encouraging my buyers, hey, if you can, stretch right now. Right, and then refinance in 6 months and take a couple $100 a month off your payment.
And there's a lot of these first-time home buyers who are getting into the market now who don't remember what happened in 2021, 2022, because when they see it and it starts going up from there, it was never the same. But when it starts coming down, that's where we start to see buyer frenzies go crazy. Hundreds of thousands of dollars over asking. It's stock market holds. Do you see that happening again? Interest rates go down, stock market holds. Are we going to see that massive increase in home prices like we did then?
I don't know that we'll see massive, but in our area, I'm sure we'll see at least a 10% bump.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. There's still plenty of money in our valley, and when rates are down, what do we know in our market? Or when rates are down and stock market's up, people spend money. So I think we'll be fine.
Usually there's a 1% to 10% correlation between interest rate and prices. So every 1% drop in rate typically leads to a 10% increase in prices because affordability goes up.
There you go. Jeter Buffett.
Jeter Buffett.
Jeter Buffet.
Speaking about rich people,
Smart people, rich people. This is it,
do you guys like Tahoe?
Yeah.
Lake House on
Of course,
Tahoe?
who doesn't?
Lake House in Hawaii,
No.
maybe Aspen.
Sure,
a
sure.
Beach house in Hawaii.
Lake House in
Jackson
Hawaii.
Hole.
Yeah, right. But for most people, maybe us included, since Mark's not here today, it's out of reach, right? $2 million for an average house on the water in Tahoe. Maybe $8 million on a beach house in Hawaii, but rich people, and actually I think this applies to others as well, but what we're seeing a lot with wealthy clientele, they're starting to do fractional ownership.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. So take a $2 million or $3 million house in Tahoe that maybe you'd only go up to, a handful of times a year. They're going in with their other rich buddies, and instead of paying $3 million, they're each only paying $750,000, right? You get 3 other friends, you go in, you get a beautiful house in Tahoe, for $750K. It's pretty genius. right? And I think that's a great way to get into that second home or vacation home market. So, maybe next year that's something we can all think about.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
What's the difference between fractional ownership and then TIC, which is tenant in common?
Nah. So, I mean, it's the same in a lot of ways, right? I mean, it's just who's on title.
Yeah.
Right. So fractional ownership, if there's 4 of us here, we each own 25%. We each cover 25% of the cost, the mortgage, and expenses, and off you go. A TIC or tenants in common is basically the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe this time next year, Salt Lake City or.
We're doing this from Maui.
Yeah. Why not?
Guys, we did it. We did it. We're here.
Speaking of Hawaii, shout out to my sister Danae, who just got into contract yesterday on a home on the Big Island of
Nice.
Hawaii. Yeah, she lives out there.
Probably from a nice referral you hooked her up with.
Unfortunately, no, but that's okay. I felt like I was an agent on the transaction.
Sure.
She's texting me, hey, is this okay? How do we counter? How do we respond? But, home ownership's alive and well. It gets up $550,000 on the Big Island. It's a duplex, but it's a detached duplex on an acre.
Hey,
I respect you as a family member not getting involved, doing your due diligence to texting her, not being one of those people calling the agent.
No.
Hey, listen, I'm the representative.
oh no.
Yeah, I've been a broker for 2 decades.
Let me tell you how it's done.
That hits a little close to home.
Are you sure you read the disclosures?
Yeah, let me tell you how it's done in Silicon Valley.
Did you get inspections up front?
Yeah, no, I know enough to know to stay out of their way. And also, maybe for another time, but how they do real estate in Hawaii is very different than how they do it out here. I mean, just the title and escrow searches alone, because of all the tribes and nations. I mean, it's pretty intense. So yeah,
pretty cool.
I'm glad we're selling real estate out here and not somewhere else.
Yeah. Give us a top 5, Big J.
All right, it was actually top 3 today.
Perfect, because it's hot.
Because we got 3 people.
Yes.
So this is it.
So San Jose Spotlight just put out the top 3 school districts in 2025
Okay.
in San Jose.
Okay.
That
Los Gatos in San Jose.
San Jose Spotlight article.
Okay.
Top 3 school districts in San Jose for 2025 that drove property value the highest. So what 3 school districts?
Sounds like Union.
Yep. San Jose Union.
Not even on the top 3.
Oh,
Campbell Union.
Well, Campbell's Campbell, right?
Not
Campbell.
San,
That's not San Jose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
It's definitely not
I'll give you
East
first-
Side Union.
well, the first. Oh, sorry. Let me give you a little easier.
Give us the third one.
Which schools? So which high school
okay.
specifically, elementary school specifically.
Leland.
Think East Side.
Evergreen.
Evergreen, number 1.
I believe that.
And that is such a small pocket. I feel like people are like, I want to go to Evergreen. It's like, okay.
Ruby, and that's kind of about it.
Berryessa. Piedmont Hills.
Sorry, I'll give you the next one. The next 2 are elementary schools.
Oh,
Okay.
So Ben Love number 2,
Buxton?
Cambrian.
Cambrian.
Cambrian
Love
number
that.
2,
Cambrian.
and then
I want all my buyers to hear that.
and then Union Elementary is the 3rd,
Union
rounding it out.
Okay.
That's crazy that Union's
Yeah.
right there because people hold Lee High School in Union District, elementary,
high
middle,
regards.
like very high.
Yeah.
People truly look at that as like a stepping stone to get into Los Gatos.
First one.
Yeah, you almost forget about Evergreen sometimes because it's so far out there, right? But their elementary, middle, and high schools are all really good.
Yeah.
Where do people work living in Evergreen? Are they all tech people?
They all live out here. I mean, they all
Sunnyvale,
work out
Mountain
here.
View,
right?
Yeah, they're commuting.
Yeah, that was always the biggest gripe is having to get on the freeway on Capitol Expressway.
Oh.
In the mornings, it's just brutal.
Tough.
Yeah.
Again,
yeah, from Evergreen, like from the house to the freeway, it takes you like 12 to 15 minutes in the morning.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. And then you have another 45 minutes to travel up. It's almost the same commute as Morgan Hill.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to Cupertino or something, it's almost the same. Whether you catch the 101 or you catch the 85, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But schools are great, houses are great, price points are amazing. So you get, I see a lot of people. Oop.
Oh, that's Rocky.
Rocky wants to let everyone know he's here.
Yeah.
Evergreen and
Yeah.
Fremont get compared quite often because you have
Yeah.
good schools, decent.
Similar
price point.
demographic too.
Similar demographic, yeah, and
Someone call Rocky.
Rocky, come on. Come,
Rocco!
come home. He's barking at the gardeners.
Is it the gardener?
Rocky!
All right. Well, I think that's it. You guys want to give the address on this place?
Yeah.
shout it.
Yeah, and if next week, hopefully this drops early next week, we'll have a broker's tour Wednesday from 9:30 to 12:30 with a coffee cart out here, sponsored by Eddie Garcia at U.S. Bank.
Nice.
Yes. So 286 Mountain Laurel Lane, Los Gatos, California.
It is actually beautiful. It's beautiful out here.
Fantastic.
I mean, you don't quite feel like you're in Los Gatos, right? I mean, there's 13 residents, and you said they share 40 acres?
80 acres.
80 acres between 13 houses.
It's serene.
It is beautiful out here. I love it, and I'm sure it'll sell quick.
Yeah, and then if you can't make it Wednesday, Friday night, 5 to 7, we'll have some treats and drinks.
And Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday.
Sunday.
We'll be here.
All right, guys.
And no music in the park next week. So
Thank God.
Well, it's all we're doing fantasy football draft.
we're back, baby.
Yeah, but that's from Ben's couch, so he'll be happy.
All right.
All right.
Until next time, guys.
Thank you.
Who you work with matters.